I got sick of waiting on God to do for me what I got to do for myself. God didn't get off the throne to come heal, save his own son. So I know he ain't going to get off the throne to come save me, much as I might want him to, you know. God, save me, Father. Save me from my fucking self. I'm my worst fucking critic. I'm my own worst motherfucking enemy. That's bullshit. A lot of shit that going on in my life or done went on in my life or done went down in my life, I blame my damn self, not nobody else. Now, there's some shiesty ass motherfuckers out there, you know, because I ain't deliberately set out to go hurt nobody. When we deliberately go set out to hurt somebody, something wrong. We don't think we supposed to survive. We think God just gonna throw it on us. Rain it down from heaven, Master. Bless me, oh most Lord. Highs to the highs to the highs. And treat each other like we treat each other worse than dogs. Done lost the will to survive. Thank God gonna survive us. Don't want to fight back against a 10-year-old child. You let the 10-year-old child kick your ass. Well, he's bigger than me. Slap his ass to sleep and wake him up in the morning. He'll goddamn forget that he the biggest. You ain't got to slap him real hard. And don't yell at him either. But it's your job to chastise your child. Not God's. Not the police officer. He's bigger than I is. You whoop that ass right, he forget it. He won't never be bigger than you in his mind. You had to start it when they're young. You ain't got to leave. Nope, don't leave bruises and scars on them. And whoop them right on their ass cheeks. Right on the ass cheeks, pop them. Pop them. Don't punch them, don't beat them. Don't do all of that. That's not disciplining. That's abusing them. That's making them, like, not care about life. Because if I get abused by those that's supposed to love me most, who can I believe in if I can't believe in my own parents? I can't believe in them. Who can I believe in? Who can I believe in? If I'm afraid of my own mama gonna mistreat me before anybody else do, who the hell else can I believe in? Where's it gonna come from? I could lay down and go to sleep around my dad and he would not touch me. I could sit on my dad's lap and he ain't never rubbed me or touched me inappropriately. He ain't never said no sexual words to me. He never made no sexual innuendo towards me. I ain't had to worry about all of that with my daddy. I did not have to. And that's a wonderful thing. That's how it's supposed to be. We supposed to be able to trust our daddies. But most of the good daddies is in the jailhouse. They in the jailhouse. They might have sold a little weed. They might have sold some crack, but you can go in the drugstore and buy Oxycontin and don't nobody go to jail for that. More people done died. A lot of people done died from prescription drugs. And weed don't do nothing but help us to, just maintain an adequate way of life. That's all the little pot do. But you want to outlaw the good stuff. The stuff that people done use for generations. Study people and their habits. And then done turn us on one another. Done made us into real savages. I see little young boys running around here blowing people's brains out. Walk up behind this security guard, this man, I think they said that this gentleman, 65 years old, shot him in the back of his head. And then they robbed him. I don't even know if anybody called 911 or not. I don't even know. I don't even know. That right there. That worse than a lion, a tiger, and a bear. They only kill if you threatening them or they trying to eat something. I mean, I understand the need for money. I do. You know, I ain't never been put in that position. I don't want to have to kill for. I done had to move a lot. You know, I didn't even want to go in the store and steal. I didn't. I was scared too. I was scared I was gonna go to jail, and who gonna watch my children if I'm in jail for stealing food? You know, sometimes less can be more. It can, like a bag of grits will go a long way, and a bag of flour in the cook at home. Yeah, but the things that I see and observe, ain't nobody telling them to me. I'm seeing them with the news. I mean, the news of my son was murdered. I seen a person, a lady who I know, she was shot to death right there in front of me. I was a little bitty little girl. And one night we were walking home and these people, get them niggers. I was a little girl. We had to hide in the cornfield. I don't know what they were gonna do to us. Then me and my two cousins, man just stopped and pointed a gun at us. I mean, I done seen a lot of things. I have. So I kind of like to stay at home more. Life has made me aware of what we are capable of. And I threw that God stuff out the window because I have to do it for myself. God ain't doing nothing. And when I read the Bible, I see a lot of the stuff in the Bible part of the problem. Well, look at that. They wrote it down in a book. And all of this stuff right here, all this bad stuff is acceptable of God. God will forgive you. God, how you know God gonna forgive anybody? He forgave them back there in the Bible days. Now, if God's still living, I would say he's somewhere in Vatican City. He might be somewhere in Antarctic. We don't know. We don't know where God is, and we don't know. I would say Vatican City. And I think that when his skin was bronze and his hair was like wool, it was a wig on his head. We done seen them old big old wigs that they used to wear, and you didn't know who they were, disguising themselves so people won't know who they are, so people won't come after them. Then they built a hedge. I built a hedge around you. A hedge. The hedge was hired guns. People who willing to fight for you. People who willing to die for you. That's when I got you, when I got somebody who willing to die for me. And I just sit there and dictate. And they'll go out there and die for me and kill for me. And we see that. It was war not written in the Bible? Did Saul and David, did they not, the kings, come on, pull it together now. We've been brainwashed. We got to try to recondition our mind. We were born into chaos. We were born into killing. And it ain't really I don't see where it's gotten any better. And history continues to repeat itself. And they said the Bible gonna come true. And it gonna keep on repeating itself because we keep on living that way. And we keep on propping up the murderers. They get so much attention, so much media, so much publicity. The murderers and the killers. Time to shun them. We don't want to mention them motherfucker some bitches' names no more. We want to see the trial. We should have complete transparency when it comes to some of these big old trials. Not Johnny Depp and his wife. What went on in the bedroom supposed to stay in the bedroom. It's a lot of things I agree with in the Bible. But it's not specific enough for me. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill what? Because all I see is killing and killing and killing and killing in the Bible. And God forgave them. But thou shalt not kill. But he forgave the deeds. Did he not forgive Cain for killing his own brother? But it seemed like God had a little hand in that. He just put one up so high. and it laid him down so bad and made him feel so bad. And then he just all in the mix, all in there mixing with them, and they had to have his approval. Oh, so bad. Oh, so bad. He wasn't even their papa. Now, who was he? He was in it. Where was Mary at? I really don't know. I know they could find God in the synagogue or what you call the places that they go. They had to build a place for him to come to. If they wanted him to come, then you got to build a place for me to come to. Probably like a show where you put on a show at. Because I think he used to be a magician too, the way he could disappear and shit. And Jesus walking on water. Illusionist. An illusionist. And you can believe what you want to, but that's how I deal with the Bible. The Bible is reality, and it really happened, is what some people are saying. So if it happened, then we know that David and Saul and all of them were real people. And we know that they said that they said God had bronze skin and hair like wool, so that means that somebody seen him. They say he had many names. That means aliases to me. Seemed like he might have been a most wanted man. And he was going from place to place to place to place to place to place. Where you see all of the Catholic stuff at. All of the Catholic worships and the Catholic beliefs. These may be places that he visited. Because you see how far people can go on foot walking. He probably been all over, got children probably everywhere, all over the planet. Because if he traveling on foot, going a lot of these different places, then we see that he wanted the virgin girls. I didn't write it. Look at Numbers 31, what Moses got. They took the virgin girls back. So that's what God wanted. God wanted the little young virgin girls for himself. And because was Mary not a young virgin girl? Was her village slaughtered? And only the virgin girls were brought back to him? And then perhaps Mary was sold to Joseph and his father, the carpenter. But God hadn't touched her and deflowered her. And she said that the Spirit of God. Now, maybe God, the Godfather, he was God, not Father God, but God, the Godfather. He was like a Godfather. And you've seen him on televisions. Real violent men. Men who get others to do their dirty work for them. And see, God, if he had all of these children then, he came with great numbers. Didn't they say, who was it? King Solomon had 700 and some wives. And all these children, imagine how many children he had. He was laying some pipe now, because he had a big old family. Now picture all of them coming up against you in your village, especially if they big enough. Now if he done went to places, enough different places, and kidnapped enough little girls and got all these little girls pregnant, then because he got all these little girls pregnant, now his big old army of followers, who might mostly be his children and his little virgin girls that he got who willing to fight for him, and he give them the holy water to keep them captivated. If you don't do what I say, you won't get this holy water. The holy water will knock the hand off you, especially if it's a drugged water or alcohol. And we know what alcohol can do to us and how it can intoxicate us and how alcohol can be addictive. Okay, so let's move forward. See, when I read the Bible, that's how I read the Bible. I try to read the Bible with an understanding of what all them different chapters is and all them different numbers, like the trial. It was the trial of Jesus, and the word is these that spoke against on his behalf on the witness stand, and it was transcribed. Everything that was said, everything. It's like a big old book, a testimony. You know what a testimony is? Come on, keep up now. You know what a testimony is? A testimony is when you get on the witness stand and you testify against something other. So these are the testimonies of the peoples, of the accounts of gods and Jesus and the acts of war and terrors and the things that they were doing to other people. They were on trial. And we still following after those ways today. The testimonies. It's the testimony of the things that they did to people. And they brought up charges against them. And they were on trial. The testimonies. Keep up. Come on, come on. You know what a testimony is? Somebody get on the witness stand and testify. And the testimony is transcribed. And all of these things that you read in the Bible are the things that they were doing and were being charged with. And those that are still around today are the ones that we worship in still. They the underworld. They was the underworld. The kings and the heirs to God's thrones and things. His heirs. People are still worshiping them and worshiping the ways of God. And they still had a power and they still had a control. Because he was making the laws himself and sending people up in these offices. His own children, his own heirs. He was known by many. He had many different titles. Anyway, listen, I woke up about 2 o'clock. My sinus, I can feel my head cracking. It's stopping back up. I don't know how long for that severe sinus medicine wear off. I could not afford the Mucinex brand. So I got the Walmart store brand. And I woke up last night and, well, my ear is feeling so much better after I took that 1 dose last night. Well, actually, I had 2 doses yesterday. When I first got some out of Walmart, I did not take a full capful. I took a half a capful. So last night I woke up and my ear was feeling quite bad, and so was this side of my head. It was stopped up, and so I took a whole 20 ml, the whole capful. I've been woke ever since then. I was tossing and turning. That shit crank you up and it get you all jittery and hyped up and can't rest and can't behave and can't be still. I don't like them feelings like that. But like weed, I don't like the side effects of it. I like the way it helped me focus and concentrate. It can help me think better. I don't understand why. Plus, it'll help put a little pep in my step. Because sometimes I don't feel like getting up moving. And now I'm learning how to deal with the weed side of it. Because the side effects will make me get up and move, especially when my heart get to beating a little fast and I can feel it. But I've been feeling my heart beating all down in my ear. Well, my ear stopped all up. And so after my ear done stopped and shit like that, I didn't feel the heart beating no more down in there, but I couldn't go to sleep. And so I've been up, and I be laying down, and I was tossing and turning because I was trying very, very hard to go back to sleep. I need my rest because I'm going to start getting so sleepy in the middle of the day, it's just going to feel horrible. And I got to work. I got to babysit. I ain't got time to be sleeping and going on. But anyhow, listen. I cannot keep on looking for God to do for me what I got to do for myself. And worshiping God give us a false sense that something is just going to come to us, that God is going to take care of us, and God's going to supply all of your needs. God going to supply at your greatest need, in your greatest hour, your greatest moment. God is going to be there to help you. And that's not. That's just an illusion. He wasn't there when Jesus was hung on that cross. Now, I'm not saying that the man who came and cut Jesus down quicker than he was supposed to was not his father. This man could have very well been his dad. We don't know. He could have been in disguise because he had many aliases. And when he cut his son down, see, Jesus probably took something that helped him. He gave up the ghost real fast. Yeah, he passed out. Probably something that he had in his system that his dad had gave him that were going to put him in a trance-like sleep. And no, he didn't come out the front of the tomb. No, he didn't, but he did escape. He was an escape artist. And you know, any good escape artist, if I'm going to set up one of my biggest show, I have to already have a way out. There has to already be a way out. See, that's probably why they got the person standing over here guarding and stuff. Because if you were to tell people, look, there was a back door up out of here, they probably gonna quit coming to visit. If you were to stop with the walk, people gonna lose money. The walk that Jesus took with the cross and the crucifix. And if you were to tell people, well, you know, and you break the illusion and you say, well, look, it was a back door up out of here. In the Last Supper, Jesus might have poisoned everybody who was sitting at that table. All but himself, or maybe even one or two might have not passed out and fell in their plate. That's why it was the Last Supper now, because they supposed to be compadres now. And then why did they all have to go their way, a different way, so nobody would be looking for them? The Last Supper. So you can't tell my secrets. You can't tell my secrets. That's how I see the Last Supper. I see them all laying on a plate dead. That's why some people have somebody taste their food for food. Get your ass over here and try this shit. Yeah. I'm going to see if your mama going to poison you. Come on and eat it. Come on. I done stirred it up real. I done stirred this shit up real good. And I done put a biscuit over in there for your big ass too. Now come on and eat this bowl and let me see. Is your mama going to poison you too? Mm-hmm. Yeah. A taster. Get your ass over here. Mm-hmm. And then we sit here and we let our children look at stuff like, what is the Emperor? The Emperor's New Groove, or the Emperor, and how Ursula, whatever her name is, poisoned his ass, or even tried to. That's some shit. We don't let our children see that. I'm like, no, that's too much for little children. A lot of the movies are complete violence. Because a lot of the castles and the queens and the kings, the movie based on their real life, but it's a lot of violence that went on. And a lot of the only reason this little princess left is because they killed all of the boys and saved the little girl for herself. They killed all the men folks. All the men folks was killed. It's like Saddam Hussein and all of his sons, but the girls weren't messed with. You see? I didn't write it. I didn't do it. I was born into this chaos. I was born into this. So don't blame me for how I feel. What you got to do is decide why you feel that way. Where is your accountability of the way that you feel? See, when I read, that's how I read it. When I see it, that's just how I see it. That's how I see it. So I don't believe in the supernatural. Now, if I go to heaven when I'm dead, then Jesus, God, and whoever else sitting up there on the throne gonna deal with me in death. But it ain't your fight. Think you fighting for God. We fighting for God. We soldiers in the army of the Lord. Don't you say that. You ain't supposed to talk like that. Yeah, because you were stripped of your language. That's why you ain't supposed to talk like that. You're supposed to know what to say or don't say nothing at all. You supposed to bark. Roo, roo. Nah. You was an animal anyway. You couldn't speak your own language because we don't understand the animals. We don't speak the animal language. So now we speak their language. So what's the problem? You found out I was a real human. I was a real human too. So many people murdered, slaughtered. And it's still happening. all over the world, not just in Ukraine. All over the world, people are being slaughtered. We got people running to borders and they got fences with barbed wires around them trying to keep them out, knowing that they running from trouble. Now, if your ass ever start towards that motherfucking border, I hope that they don't meet me with the same adversity that we done met them with. Just to talk so bad to Hispanics and other peoples. Because they ain't American. They ain't American. The colors that don't run now. They bleed, but they don't run. The red, the white, and the blue. Them colors don't run, right? They don't run. They'll bleed. They ain't gonna never run. Run anywhere if you want to, boy. I got a sawed off shot. And you should keep your gun at home. And I don't think that they should defund the police, no, but I think that they should unarm them son bitches. You should be out yonder with no gun, no weapons. No, you should not be able to, if you get into a fight with somebody, then, oh, so be it. You should not be able to pull out a gun and shoot them in the back of their head. Learn how to restrain yourself. If we were to learn how to restrain ourselves, it'd be a lot less fighting going on. But we don't even know how to restrain ourselves. You know, God gave me that natural right there to blow your brains out your head. Mm-hmm. God gave me that right. God gonna forgive me. I ain't got to answer the man. I ain't got to answer the man. God's gonna forgive me. Yeah, we murdered Ahmaud Arbery with his black ass self. God's gonna forgive me. God's gonna forgive me. You ain't got to worry about Trayvon Martin. God's gonna forgive George Zimmerman. God's got his back. Don't you worry about the man that murdered Michael Brown. God's got his back. Don't worry about them. You ain't got to worry about Breonna Taylor. God's got their backs. You worry about yourself, slave. Stay in line. And I don't blame George Biden or Joe Biden. I don't blame him for these high prices. I blame the rent man that done went up all of this money just because he saw opportunity and he took advantage of that opportunity and he taking advantage of your ass. We got to stand together and stop buying. We got to stop shopping. Buy the basic necessities. The basics. I'm finna get out here and go to work on my garden. I'm finna plant me some stuff in some pots and stuff. I'm finna try to grow me a little bit of food too myself, you know. I'm trying real hard to get this garden thing going right. My greenhouse flooded out. Where I got my garden at over on this side of my yard, well, it floods out real bad. I'm trying to do for me, you know. God is not gonna do it. I gotta do it for myself. I gotta press my way on. I wanna keep living. Sometimes I feel like I'm giving up, and I don't want to give up. I'm trying hard to fight against depression. I'm battling the fuck up out of it, but we can't be allowed to express ourselves. We can't say what we want to say and talk. And then you want to come over here and you want to take away a person's freedom of speech. Get your children off of these platforms. It's your job to raise your children. Your 6-year-old ain't got no business on YouTube. They ain't got no business on Facebook, Twitter, tweeting shit. No, they need to have their ass in yonder looking at Sesame Street. That's all they need to watch is Sesame Street. That's it. They don't need nothing else but Big Bird in their motherfucking life and some Elmo.